A little windy today. Very often people come to me, good dogs, because they want to know their mission, their purpose. And one of the quickest ways for me to lose work is to say, what if your mission is to be the best janitor that the Creator wants you to be? And while being a janitor, you say nice things to other people who maybe are unhappy. And poof, I never hear from that person again. In America, we are filled with grandiosity and narcissism. I'm not talking about malignant narcissists. That's a diagnostic and that's a whole other thing. I'm just talking about whenever people talk to me, it's usually New Agers, about their mission and their purpose. What they really mean is, am I going to be able to do something for which I will be admired, respected, applauded, and have a sense of value because of how other people react to me? Because every day you can have a mission and a purpose. Today, I want to be in a really glowing mood so that everybody I run into gets a little taste of some upbeat energy. And guess what? No one will notice, you won't get applauded, they won't pay you any money, etc. It's what I call being a secret agent. That is my main mission in life, is being a secret agent. What is a secret agent? To me, it is that I know this life is more than shopping, money, and recognition. That I work with energy and I can affect people, plants, the land itself, everybody around me with energy. Which doesn't mean I have to run around like Jesus all the time, and I should say the fictional presentation of Jesus, because Jesus was a human being. If you want to get a really great perspective about what it was like and why Jesus is such a great role model, go see the movie The Last Temptation of Christ. It was banned for a while by the Christians and Catholics in this country. They didn't like it because it was too honest. We all have a mission. There's two parts to it. One part is our own personal journey as a soul, that we begin to evolve so that when we cross over, we are at a more evolved, complex level than when we first came here, with a lifetime here on Earth. Whether you believe in reincarnation or just that you die or go back to so-called heaven, in either case, that purpose fits. The other purpose we have is our impact on those around us. The first one, we have to work on ourselves. Otherwise, the second one becomes kind of fake. Like, let's say I'm an alcoholic, or I'm a pedophile priest, or I am a dysfunctional, horrible mother, but I am a New Age goddess. You cannot then be a good secret agent if your own house isn't in order. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect before you can help other people. But you certainly can't go around helping other people or the planet and animals in place of your own evolution and your own self-care. I always say it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So running around and helping others as a way to kind of self-medicate typically doesn't work out very well. While I'm describing them separately, they are interrelated. Helping others does help us grow. Every recovery program out there talks about being of service in order to keep your recovery up and running and to keep your codependency or addictions in check. And being of service could be something like giving blood, cleaning up part of a trail, visiting a neighbor. It doesn't have to be a big grandiose thing. So helping others can help us help ourselves. It can. And as we help ourselves, we automatically become a better citizen. And that is already a contribution. Imagine if we had a country filled with really high-functioning citizens, which we don't have right now. So going back to being a secret agent, lots of my work before I went public, well, all of my work before I went public was more secret agent than it is now, because now I have to make a living at this. Whereas before, I had a salary, and people found me by word of mouth, and I would charge some money or work for free, depending on income levels. But I didn't have the pressure to have a business, to have an income, to support my animals and support my old age. So back in the day, when I was more of a secret agent, many times it was years. The longest was 12 years before I would find out that something I did for someone, sometimes it felt wrong and uncomfortable too, the thing I did. Like with students as a professor, if I stood up to them, held them accountable in a way that was uncomfortable for us both. But typically what the other professors did was just sort of pass them on, like just get them through the class, get them to the next class, like no student left behind kind of thing. So I would have a very uncomfortable conversation. And a year or two later, because I always worked in these small vocational colleges where I could see all the students forever, they didn't get lost in the shuffle of thousands of students. They would come up to me and say, "Do you remember that time you caught me with plagiarizing a paper? Or you remember that time you wouldn't let me just hand in late work?" And I would say, "Yep." I wouldn't tell them yes. And I also remember I went home crying because I felt so mean. Every time I had students come back and say, "That changed my life. You were the first person to care enough to have that hard conversation with me and to expect me to be a bigger version of myself and actually demand that from me. And it changed my whole life." That would be years later. I could tell you so many stories like that. And I could only do that, it seemed like, as a secret agent because I didn't have to worry about an income level. So I like to teach people to be a secret agent because once you go into this stuff for business, I try not to think about the idea of keeping people, chasing them away, getting new people, not getting new people. But it does seep into my consciousness. I wish it didn't, but it does. But there's another part too about doing all this work for having a purpose and a mission. A mission is accountability. There's lots of people I see that are psychics who have an income level not from work, but from a husband, a wife, a trust fund, disability, something like that. And they have no accountability whatsoever. I think that happens in part because they've never had a job where you have a boss, where you have requirements, where you have rules, where you have accountability, job performance, etc. So if they steer you down the wrong path, oh well, financially they're still supported. This is why I find the New Age so very dangerous. Now going back to being special, having a purpose, and having a mission, I would tell everybody Your first mission is to be a secret agent. Work on yourself, be the best version you can. And when I say work on yourself, you don't get to stop. You don't stop brushing your teeth. You don't stop watching your weight. You don't stop keeping your body in shape. It's forever. Sometimes you do more, sometimes you're more on maintenance. So the same thing goes for your energy field, your emotions, your mind. There's so much new science out there now. There's so much easy access to information. Why aren't you keeping up with what's going on out there in the world of medicine, mental health, energy, quantum medicine, quantum physics, quantum mechanics? So that's your first mission and purpose. And then, to me, the second mission and purpose is that you handle what's in front of you with all the grace and dignity and intelligence and emotional regulation that you can. Come on, Pia. Come on. Which doesn't mean you're perfect. It's just your second mission is to be out there in the world in the best way possible. And when you have a bad day or you do something messy, admit it. Take personal inventory, as they say in 12 Step, and make amends. And the third part of this is if you have a mission, a bigger mission, guess what? It will come and get you. We signed up for this life before we ever got here. We signed up for the karma, the mission, the career, etc. Our job is to be in the best working order, the most balanced, resilient place we can be in, so that we can take on what is given to us, what comes to us. But if you're going out and chasing it down, unless you have gotten a kind of pull to do that, because that some of us have these missions, these bigger missions, where we feel compelled to run for city government, or we feel compelled to do something else that has a bigger calling in the public eye. But how do you know if that isn't coming from your wounded ego or your wounded self that's looking for validation? And that's a great question, because there's no simple answer with that, because that has to do with your energy field and, most of all, your mental and emotional health. Lots of people run around trying to be healers so they don't have to feel their own pain. This is also very common in the psychological field. When I was younger, especially, I don't know what it's like now with people getting licensed, but almost every person I knew, including my mother, including so many of my friends who became therapists rather than going to therapy. They were so wounded that the way they could kind of self-medicate was to work on other people's pain, because it made their pain feel less prominent. So if you feel that you're being guided to do some bigger mission and you're not working on your internal self, I'm not sure how you can figure out, until it's after a lot of painful years, that it's your wounded self guiding you, not the higher energies. So I would say, when in doubt, keep it small. Chop wood, carry water. Work on yourself. Keep yourself up and running. Be accountable. Don't ghost people. Be authentic. Take inventory. Correct your mistakes. Be humble. Check how your progress is going. Now, can you do this all in isolation? Maybe after some years of practice you can. But other than that, you're going to have to work with some people. Then, if a bigger calling comes, you can't avoid it. The fact that I had to, at 60, open up a meditation studio in a fundamentalist, evangelical Christian town that is a bedroom community where everybody's lived here for like 4 generations. And they hated me, and I'm the Antichrist. I'm a blasphemer, you name it. Oh, a pagan. Some referred to me as the lesbian yoga teacher. I'm not a yoga teacher. I'm not a lesbian, even though that would not be a problem. But they just didn't know what to make of an independent woman teaching meditation. Oh, I've been called a hippie, too, because I have a PhD in health psychology. This was not my idea of manifestation. Some New Age people said, you manifested this. I could not have manifested this if I was on acid. This was the last thing I wanted to do in this town. And yet, it came and got me. And when I tried to leave, it came and got me. And said, the energies, the universe, spirit, said, stay here, do this. It also required of me a very high form of functioning, as it brought every one of my insecurities to the surface. On the outside, I look really cool. As the younger people say, you're a badass. I might be, but man, it kicked up all my insecurities, self-esteem issues, rejection issues, you name it. This to me is what I mean about being led by the higher energies. Like a surfer, the waves come in, and some of the waves are going to catch you, whether you want them or not. You just kind of get caught up in the current, and your job is to be the best surfer you possibly can, not to try to control the ocean or the weather. So if you come to a session with me, I'm going to help you be the best version of you, so that when your destiny comes and gets you, or it may already be here, I'm going to help you meet it full on. Our destiny isn't the end song. Our purpose and our mission and our destiny also are here to help us grow and learn, and that's always messy and scary. Our destiny and mission doesn't just come in to make us famous, get recognition, to make us feel better about ourselves, to give us a sense of self-value and worth. That's all internal work we have to do. I'm sorry to take the romance out of this for some of you, but I think for some of you, this will be quite a relief to hear, because the New Age industry tells everybody they were a priest or a priestess in Atlantis or Egypt. They were a pharaoh, and they are going to be amazing now in this life too, and take this workshop, and if it hasn't happened, it's because you did something wrong. That is BS. But people sometimes have to go to decades of those workshops before they finally realize that they are and can be amazing right here and now. They don't need a big goddamn mission with a lot of publicity, accolades, and recognition to make their life feel valuable and worthwhile. Where's Pia? There she is. So I'm talking about a lifestyle change, not a goal or an outcome. What's my mission? Some of us have more than one mission. Some of us have a secret agent mission forever. Some of us have a more public mission. Some of us are here to learn how to take care of family, because in another lifetime we blew that off. Some of us are here to have a lighthearted, fun lifetime and spend a lot of money and go to a lot of parties and have a lot of fun. And that's okay too. So we're all here for different reasons. If you're looking for a mission or a purpose, your destiny, I will guarantee you, you are having some emotional health problems. You're either depressed or afraid or anxious. Because when we're well balanced and we're living our life, we're not running around chasing our tail, begging someone to tell them what our destiny or mission is. We're like, life's good. I like this. Today was good. Tomorrow's good too. Yesterday was good. Oh, last week was horrible. And that's how we start living. And within each day, because we're energy sensitive, we're cultivating the self, each day has miracles. Each day has moments of joy. Each day has some challenge. Each day has some emotions. But overall, each day is like, wow, this was incredible, including the hard stuff. So I hope this helps. Hope you enjoy these walks. I've done some of these sitting in front of camera in my meditation room, and it's so boring to do it that way. So I'm hoping you enjoy these walks as much as I do. More later. Yeah. Come on, let's go.